Outcome of the meeting, a weekend meeting by the G7, has continued to generate reactions. Oxfam is one of those that have criticized it, saying it's bitterly disappointed with the communique issued on Sunday, June 13th, which included pledges for 1 billion COVID-19 vaccine doses and to boost climate finance. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa was also at the meeting, where he had made a case for plugging the COVID-19 funding gap. Let's talk to Trinity Ngube now, an economist in South Africa. Great to have you, Trinity.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me again.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Well, the issue of vaccine availability and funding, particularly for poor countries, was a major topic at the G7 meeting over the weekend, and a lot of people expressed their disappointment over the agreements reached. What was your major takeaway at the meeting?
Well, it's same old, same old. We seem to still beg, the West for funds and all this type of support. I think it's a very, if I may say, it's irresponsible to be in 2021 and still begging for funds and support from the Western world. We should be in a position to do things ourselves. Without going too much into the figures and so forth, I just personally, I'm also disappointed. We should be at a stage where we should take care of our own business.
Yeah, I share that sentiment too. Well, President Ramaphosa was at the summit alongside his Indian counterpart, and both of them lead the proposal to waive intellectual property rights for COVID-19 vaccines at the World Trade Organization. What is your take on that?
Again, that might sound like a broken record. I'm still disappointed as well, because at this point, if you look back into history, the likes of Egypt had a lot of intellectual property. Look at medicine, engineering, and all these scientific, fields. So for us at this point, decades, centuries later, we're still begging for intellectual property. We have bright young scientists in Africa. Almost 70% of Africans right now are in the youth, and these people have ideas. They have innovative ideas, and the problem is that the innovation ecosystem is highly politicized in Africa in such a way that we are unable to do our own things.
And obviously a lack of investment in research and development, I guess.
That too. However, again, we should get our story straight. We should get our house in order. We cannot rely on other countries to support our own innovative, ecosystem and processes. At this point, we can have support, but at some stage we should be having our own African innovation ecosystem in which we can, be dependent on each other as African states. We have highly capable scientists in this region.
All right, so we've seen the emergence of a third wave of COVID-19 virus in most African countries like South Africa. Aside from the availability of the vaccines, hesitancy has also been identified as one of the challenges. Can this be attributed to low trust in the authorities?
I think, again, based on what we have been talking about today, if you rely on somebody else to give you something and you're not quite sure whether that thing is safe, again, you as a beggar, you can't be a chooser. So we are dealing here with an issue of quality, the quality of vaccines. Some of the vaccines might obviously been expired. Some of the vaccines might have question marks. And now we wait for the FDA in the United States to tell us whether it's safe or not. This is just a big joke.
All right, so low vaccine rollout is set to also hinder Africa's growth prospects this year. What is your outlook?
So that's the one positive I can pick up on. The economy at the moment, especially in South Africa, was doing quite well. So we're looking at growth prospects around 3.1%, between 2.8 and 3.1%. And I fear, though, that will be dampened down by maybe 0.3 to 0.5%. Let's see how it plays out. It also depends on how long these lockdowns, restrictions that we announced will go for and the kind of impact that they will have. I doubt that they will have such a significant impact over the next 3 months. So I'm looking at still about 3.1%. I'm a fairly optimistic person. Let's see how it plays out.
But for you, what do you think can, build trust, when it comes to this hesitancy issue?
Well, again, I mean, it's an issue of collaboration with other countries, and again, our authorities at this point. I normally hesitate to point the finger at government, but you see, the issue is when these vaccines are bought, there needs to be coordination between the Ministry of Health and, of course, some of the municipalities and so forth. And at the moment, we are in chaos because I doubt that we even have a Minister of Health at this moment.
Wow. All right, Trinity, I guess we'll have to leave it there now. Thank you so much for your time on the program. Thank you.
Thank you again for having me.
All right.